Hey Leo, Mariah here. I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are great. Of course, I got y'all back on the road with me as always, as of recently. So we are going to hop into your reading. I want to see as we're moving through February, what's going on, even maybe a little further out, right? I need to understand at this time what it is that Spirit is wanting to convey to you. So let's get into this. So Spirit guides, angels, ancestors for Leo at this time, what is it that I'm hearing? The stop resisting. So I hope this isn't you resisting some kind of change. And now I'm getting the feeling of a sacrificial lamb. I think this comes back to you, the Hierophant in the reverse. Perfect card coming out to begin with, because this is going against the grain. This is being a nonconformist. This is shaking up the status quo and doing something in a very untraditional, unconventional route, in an unconventional way. This is being radically different. I get the feeling, Leo, that you are the go-to person for a lot of people in your life. Because it reminds me of a mother or father with a young child. And they're like, mom, mom, or dad, dad, dad. And you're always having to be on call. You're always having to be on go. You have many hands in different pots. You wear many hats. I'm getting Creole food. I know we had the Super Bowl on Sunday, but I'm getting like beignets. I'm getting jambalaya. I'm getting crawfish. Maybe somebody's eating. Maybe somebody was at the Super Bowl on Sunday. Either which way, bringing it back to the energy at hand, you wear lots of hats. You wear lots of many roles. You do many things. Yet it feels like, despite wanting to be there or help, whether you feel like it's the right thing to do or if you feel like you're obligated, it's just like you're tired of self-sacrificing things for yourself, and you're putting yourself in the sacrificial lamb position. And this is asking you, with this Hierophant in the reverse, that if you want change, you are going to have to do something radically different. Now, I understand that you're a fixed sign, Leo, so change is not necessarily your forte unless you have other placements in your chart that kind of goes against that grain. But this is going to require you. It's like making enemies along the way, making bad connections along the way, people that you are going to have to no longer be a sacrificial lamb for. These people may not like it. These people may start to look at you as enemy number one because you're not there for them, or you have to reduce some of the hands you have in these pots, or you can't always be on call. You can't always be on goal. It's like you've been trying to balance so many different plates in your life, but as we know, you can't have equal balance in every sector or every area of your life. Something is going to have to suffer. And what it's bringing me back into, Leo, is your energy, the number 7. I'm getting like a slot machine. So maybe somebody's gambling, somebody's wanting to go gamble, or maybe you're taking a gambling chance, putting your money in that slot, betting and hoping that you're going to win. But the way to win is to no longer be that sacrificial lamb. The way to win is to be able to change how other people have received you, right? If you've been in a certain pattern or you operate a certain way with others and you go against that pattern, now you're moving in a radically different energy, and people are not going to know how to take that. They're not going to know how to receive you in that way because they're not used to it, right? That's unfamiliar territory. But it's also going to be unfamiliar territory for you, having to say, you know what? I can't be a sacrificial lamb anymore. I have to let my children go. I have to maybe pull back from my relationship. Maybe, you know what? I can't be the go-to person at work all the time. Somebody else is going to have to be delegated for that role. Or maybe I just need to switch this position because I'm tired of being in the self-sacrificial place where I'm getting on the workload and I'm having to carry the brunt work and I'm not getting help or the assistance, or I'm not really seeing some type of positive outcome in this, at least not as frequently as we would like to. And don't get me wrong, I think some things when it comes to your beliefs and your philosophies about how you operate and move through life, whether this is your karma, whether this is past life contract of, you know, I get like a strong empathy, just a strong understanding. But it feels like Spirit is asking you, and this goes back to your past life, as I was saying, what's the root of this? What is the root of this wound? Because it reminds me of a person that is operating out of wounds due to the lack thereof, or an avoidance, or an abandonment, or what they didn't get, or what they should have received, and not wanting other people to feel how they were treated, not wanting other people to experience things that they've experienced. So it's like you end up taking on those roles and maybe even burning yourself out or overextending yourself because you really want to be there. That goes with your karma, that goes with your moral character. But it feels like there's a hole like holes in your emotional reserves. I think about people who are dealing with high functioning depression. I'm not trying to diagnose you here, Leo, but people who are dealing with high functioning depression, they don't realize that they're depressed because they're able to still float and move through life as if everything is normal and everything is good. But yet maybe they're feeling this heavy energy. They're finding themselves being more lethargic than normal. They may not have as much interest in things that they used to have before, but because they don't show up as the regular symptoms of depression or the traditional symptoms, they don't realize that they're dealing with that. I bring this back to you. Again, I'm not trying to diagnose you, but this feels like you're self-sacrificial lamb. You're running on fumes, and I don't even know if you know that you're running on fumes because you're still able to carry these hats, juggle these plates, be that one that is kind of the martyr a little bit. That you're not, I don't know if you're consciously really knowing that, of your energy being drained. So let me keep going. I'm like only on one card, but the energy is flowing here for you, Leo. Tell me more. What else does Leo need to know here? The Empress. And the Tennis. Okay. For some, and just a side message, you may have people around you trying to impose their beliefs onto you or their worldviews and their perspectives. They may feel like how they view the world or their perspective of it is more adequate or more accurate than yours, or they are so convicted in their beliefs. I'm kind of getting a dogmatic energy that they're projecting how you should operate or how you should handle things or how you should go about your life. They're throwing onto you their beliefs and their perspectives. And I think for you, it's not that you're not open-minded to understand and take in that information, but I think you are set in who you are. You are set in your beliefs. You know what you believe. And you don't need somebody else trying to tell you, hey, this is what you should believe, or hey, this is my perspective of the world, so you should take on that perspective too. You know, again, who you are and what you believe. So again, this is a side message for somebody. Bringing it back to the main message here for you. Again, I'm getting a number 7. Somebody is gambling on, either you're betting on yourself or you're betting on a situation that is outside of you. Will this, let me divert a little bit. Will this actually, whatever Leo is betting on, because since that keeps coming up reoccurring for me, I want to see if this is, you know how this works. Tell me, whatever this is Leo's taking a gamble on, what is this all about? And Page of Swords in the reverse. Emperor in the reverse and the Fool. This is like speculative betting. So again, some of you may be gamblers, right? Whether you're doing like your sports betting, you're going to the casino, you're playing your slottery, you're playing the lottery, you're playing your slots, scratch offs. In your energy, whatever this gambling and taking a bet on, it's a speculative bet, meaning you don't have enough of the information to feel like the bet that you're getting ready to make is a safe and secure one. You don't have enough reassurance with this bet to know that if I do move in this direction, that is going to play out in my favor. There's so many variables around taking this bet. I don't think it scares you though. I think you have enough conviction based on, again, your emotional reserves being drained, because again, I get the sacrificial lamb and you having to wear all these hats and juggle many plates, that I think the risk is well enough and well enough wanted, well enough needed, well enough desired, that despite how it may play out, I think you don't want to live with the regret of, hey, I never made that bet, or hey, I never took that chance, I never took that risk. I don't think you want to have that on your subconscious. And even that is enough factor for you to go ahead and move in that direction, taking that risk. And this may be involving, whether it's a romantic partner with the Emperor in the reverse, whether it's a romantic partner, whether this is a boss, this is somebody who may be of either higher authority. They may act like they have higher authority. The way that they come off can be of such. Maybe this is somebody that's in their ego, somebody that has a lot of pride. Why is Leo taking a risk and a gamble when it comes to this situation? Why is Leo taking a risk and a gamble? The World in the reverse. Ooh, I don't like that energy. It reminds me of somebody feeling very claustrophobic. You ever feel, I don't know, hopefully some of y'all can relate to me out here. You ever been in a position where it feels like the walls are caving in, not literally, but psychologically, emotionally. It's just like you're in a room and all the walls are getting closer and closer, and you just start to feel very claustrophobic. It reminds me of anxiety. Whatever scenario you are presently dealing with, and it does involve another person, because I do have the Emperor and the Empress here. So whether that's you're married and this is your spouse, whether this is a business partner, it don't even matter. The bigger part is whatever situation you're in, it's creating a sense of claustrophobia. Like your world is caving in. Maybe it's just because you have so much you have to deal with, or you are not taking care of your needs, but you're having to take care of the needs of other people. You're having to be sacrificial on your own desires. And it's like, no, I need to take this bet and bet on myself, good, bad, or indifferent. At least I know if I take that bet that I tried to get out of the situation, that I tried to remove myself, that I tried to go on a different route, not the route that was expected of me, not the route that I may have committed to at one point. It's like, I just can't do this. This is you saving yourself from a situation. This is you going straight into self-preservation. There's even a tinge of survival mode here because of the claustrophobic feeling, like something like the walls are caving in on you. And it's like you're having to save yourself. You're I don't want to say you're defeated, but I don't know for you if it's worth pursuing or worth the fight or worth allowing things to take its course further. You're just like, I have to check out. I'm getting lilies. I'm getting lilies for you, like the actual flower lilies. I don't know the full-on context of the meaning of lilies, especially in the spiritual sense. But I'm getting the visual of somebody putting lilies on a casket. You're mourning. You are mourning you. But not, it doesn't feel like it's heavy. I just think the energy you're in right now is heavy, but the mourning is not heavy. I think whatever this scenario you're in present moment that is making you feel claustrophobic, where your walls are caving in, you're having to grieve that version of you that allowed yourself to be put in those circumstances, to deal with those situations, to be tolerant of all of these obligations and duties. You're putting it into that version of Leo that took on things that people needed help with, that was there, the support, the provider, the nurturer, the listener, the teacher, the therapist, the bank, the ATM. It's like that version of you that may have had good intentions. Maybe you just wanted to do the right thing. That's just who you are, right? Something by nature and not by nurture. Maybe by your nature, you're just this kind of person, even if you weren't nurtured to be this kind of person. And that version of you, you are going to be grieving. Because you know, as much as you love that version of you that is by nature and not by nurture, right? You naturally just being this way. This is just your natural disposition of whether it's care, consideration, being there, being the mom, being the ATM, being the this and that. You're seeing more and more as the pressure is cooking, as the heat is turning up, that you are sacrificing way more than you intended to. And that version of you that, again, obligated yourself or has now found yourself in this position, she can't survive anymore. She can't grow anymore. Or he, because it don't have to be a she. You could be a he watching this. I got my guys out there. Hey, my male Leos. But you may have to grieve. You're like grieving that. What comes after? Bottom of the deck, I do have the Star. I'm getting Epiphany. Ooh, Leo. Oh my goodness. This is like an epiphany. And you're going to be able to link the version of you that you are having to mourn and grieve back to your upbringing. Whether the version of you that you're now having to mourn and grieve and put to bed, whether you fully put that version of you to bed by the end of February, or this is the month where you're realizing the version of Leo that you've been no longer can exist, because that version of you, even if it's not intended, has hurt you, has put you in a position where you got the short end of the stick, has put you in the position of being too self-sacrificial, where now we are feeling burnout, pressure, feeling exhausted, feeling drained. This links back to your legacy. This links back to your family lineage and your history. And a lot of times they say depending on how we're brought up and our upbringing, we can start to show those behaviors in subconscious ways in our adulthood. So it makes me wonder, just thinking my thoughts out loud here for you, Leo, growing up, did you find yourself in positions when it came to your family or your upbringing? And you can go on one side of the spectrum or the other. On one side of the spectrum, you could have been nurtured and raised a certain way, and those ways may have not been the best for us, right? I think about people who are raised in a household where their parent is the domineering parent or controlling, and it's like you just have to listen to my will and listen to my whim, and you don't have a voice. Or other times you grow up in a household and maybe you're not getting the nurturing and the love that you need, so as adults we overextend that. You know how patterns work. This pattern in this moment, you're going to see, connect the dots. I see how I was raised and how that as an adult has now put me in a position that I don't like to be in. I have seen, now connecting the dots, over the years how I've operated or what I've allowed to tolerate, or how I've allowed my natural nature, right? How we operate at our core, even if that is us, it may not be the most beneficial to us. So we may say, wow, there's some things at my core that I have to change that is so deeply ingrained that has put me in this position that is affecting me. But with whatever this is, this goes back beyond you. I think about generational curses, and they can come in the form of different things. And what may be your mother or father's generational curse, it may not be the same for you, yet there's still that negative energy or that karma we have to break through. And that's this moment in February of that claustrophobic feeling, saying, I can't do this anymore. I just fucking can't do this anymore. I have to get out of here. The walls are caving in on me. I can't breathe. I cannot breathe. I have to go. Like somebody is like hyperventilating. Like I have to get out of this. I don't know if it's literally or if it's just mentally and psychologically where it's just like, I have to go. I can't. If I get one more phone call, if my child calls for me one more time, if I have to give you money one more time, I'm just going to flip out. Whether it's internally by imploding or exploding. And I think your instinct, your gut intuition has been signaling you about needing to make a radical change and needing to make that bet on yourself, whatever that bet may be. I think your instinct has been nudging at you about this for some time. And I think sometimes we can second guess or doubt it. Maybe we're even in a situation or a scenario, despite our intuition telling us one thing, we can't get out of that situation. We may be obligated to that situation, even if our intuition is saying go. Right? Because sometimes that's how life is. We can't always up and move or get out or change things, even though our intuition is telling us. We have to still be mindful of reality. So whether you're in a situation right now that you can't easily maneuver out of, or if it is, nonetheless, your gut has been screaming at you. And I think this is why there needs to be a strong enough momentum within your gut spirit to be able to break the chain of whatever this claustrophobic feeling is, so you can buy back your freedom. For some of you, this may be attached to whatever this needing to separate yourself from, there may be financial obligations attached to it, because I just got buy back your freedom. So maybe for some of you, you may be in a financial position where you can't really do for yourself. Maybe you're, living with somebody, maybe somebody's taking care of you financially or being supportive of you. Maybe somebody's relying on you for that. And because of that circumstance, if you don't have enough, you may not be able to break away as easily as you want to. So you may feel still stuck, which again, further creates that claustrophobic feeling. But that's why Spirit is saying, if you want to get out of the situation, you're going to have to do something radically different. And doing that is not necessarily comfortable. It's not always the ideal choice. It's not always our first choice, to be honest. But it is the choice that buys us back our freedom. And that's you as a Leo, you as a Lionheart spirit. Anything that makes you feel tied down, claustrophobic, attached in a way that goes against what you want right now. If you want it to be attached to something, we're swimming, you're fine with it, you're cool. But if it's like you're forced into it, or you're having to be self-sacrificing against your will, or against ways where you're feeling like you're getting the short end of the stick, as a Leo, y'all can't stand that. Y'all are not for that. Y'all don't like to be told what to do. Y'all don't like to be bossed around, because you guys are the leaders. But when you're in a life circumstance that is forcing you in that position, it's just so unbearable for you guys and for anybody to be in general. This comes back to a root. I think you are going to connect some major dots this month, if you haven't already, as to how we're in this position, what this links back to with our childhood and our upbringing, how we were nurtured, but also too, depending on your age, the experiences you may have had in your young adulthood, or even in your younger years, that may have aligned us to this moment right now where we're feeling this way, or feeling stuck. So I see you breaking, at least aligning yourself to break out of a situation that you feel at your core of all cores is holding you back. It's clipping your wings, and it's draining you slowly. And I don't know if you're as conscious, whether it's at the forefront of your psyche or it's in the subconscious. I don't know how aware you are of the true drainage of the situation that you're in. Again, I go back to people dealing with high functioning depression, dealing with depression, but not even knowing it, not even recognizing it, but yet feeling burnout, feeling tired, feeling all these things, and they don't know where it comes from. I'm feeling this heavy energy. Where is it coming from? A lot of times it's really linked to that, depending. I'm not a doctor. Don't come for me. But Leo, before we go, because we are getting a little lengthy here, I just want to see, is there any advice here for you? Because whatever it is that you're needing to break, if you can, because I don't know your life circumstances, so keep in mind your reality. I know we're spiritual here, but I still think about reality. If you can break away as soon as possible within your means and within your ability, do so. I don't think you're going to bet wrong by betting on yourself. Otherwise, it's like you're slowly dying. Your spirit is dying. And the fact that the Empress is here, you know who you are. You're in your power. It's like if you were to be out of this situation, you know you will be back up and thriving and being back in your energy and feeling better. If you can distance or detach yourself from these circumstances or people, you know you can recharge your batteries and get back in your mojo and get back in the groove of your own essence. But because it's like you got this boulder or this looming thing you're stuck to or being self-sacrificing for, it's like you're almost forgetting your true nature. You're almost forgetting to a degree who you are, even though you know. That's why whatever this is, it's killing your spirit. It's killing your spirit. It's dimming your light. Let's get some advice here for you, Leo. Any advice here for my Leos? Let's see. The Nine of Cups in the reverse. Wow. And then there you go on the bottom of the deck. And then the Queen of Wands, even further of your energy here on the bottom of the deck. So you're coming through big time. I think this is all about understanding that sometimes we're just not strong enough to be able to carry the weight of the world. Sometimes we're not strong enough to be able to carry the weight of other people's problems. Sometimes we are, we're a parent and we can be there for our kids, but sometimes we need a damn day off and we need to separate from our kids for a little so we can have a breather. It's okay if you cannot be strong for everyone, including yourself at times. And that's the reality. It's okay if you just can't. And I think sometimes your energy is so much in regards to persevering and moving and not allowing life to hold you back and keep you're going, that I think sometimes just to take a breather is difficult and tough for Leo. But in this scenario, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. I don't think this is future tense. I think this is the situation you're currently in. I don't know if you're in a situation maybe at one time you either wish for it, or at one time you thought, okay, I can deal with this, I can handle it, I can take this on, I can be a mom, I can be a dad, I can be a partner, spouse, I can deal with this work situation. Again, doesn't matter your scenario. But dealing with the reality of it, right? We could put the spiritual stuff, the spiritual woo-woo on the side, but the reality of it, I don't think here in your energy, again, be careful what you wish for, the reality may have been a little bit too, I don't want to say bleak, but I think too difficult to bear long-term, or too difficult to actually deal with or continue. So Spirit is saying, as you move forward and to, of course, bet on yourself, be in alignment and set realistic expectations on what is capable, what you're capable of, what is possible for you, what are your boundaries, what are your limits, what are your limitations, while still being able to be of service to your own wishes, wants, and desires. There's a balance here. Sometimes we get out of bounds because we just get so focused on something, or we're like, yes, we can do. That's that Leo fire energy. And Spirit is saying, temper that out and being able to find that balance. So I hope this has made sense. I know I've went on longer than I intended to, but the link is in the description box below if you would like a personal reading. In the meantime, I'm going to let you go. You take care. You be well. And bye.